Hey there, folks. It's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review, Mending the Line. So yesterday I went to see this movie. I was kind of in a mood for a movie, but I really didn't want to see, a summer blockbuster. I've seen enough already, and we're not even in July yet. We're still in June. So Mending the Line seemed like a smaller film, as they say, just meaning that it's not a bunch of explosives and stuff. Although there is some warfare in this movie. This movie is about a Afghanistan war veteran, I should say, who has been injured in the line of fire. He was a Marine, actually, and he's getting rehab at a rehab facility, and also kind of, there's group counseling for the vets and so forth. And there he discovers himself. He finds some friendships and some interesting characters. Of course, there's a romantic interest. Eventually, this woman who her fiance has apparently been killed in the line of duty. So it's this little town somewhere. It feels like Alabama or Georgia or something, where everybody has ties to the military, or at least in the movie, everyone has ties to the military, and everyone has ties to this VA center, and so forth. And then there's a couple of more major characters. There's a doctor at the hospital who's always trying to figure everybody out, and help everyone. And she assigns our lead guy, I believe his name is John, if I'm getting that right, to go fly fishing with this Vietnam vet. And it turns out that both guys were in what they call the recon group, the recon sect, which, not being a military man myself, I didn't really understand. It sounds really cool. I just didn't know exactly recon. I'd like to know more about it, is what I'm saying. This movie kind of goes nicely hand in hand with probably my favorite movie of the year so far, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. If you saw that movie, and then you see this one after, it's kind of a nice complementary piece, because they both kind of have this, war or people dealing with it. It's not just shooting people and killing them, it's the ramifications of all this stuff, the human element. So, in short, I like this movie. I mean, also, I guess I didn't get into it, but a big part of this movie is the fly fishing, which is not something I'm terribly familiar with. I've gone fishing a few times in my life, but I haven't taken it as seriously as one of the characters, played, I believe, by Brian Cox, veteran actor. He plays this character. God, I'm sorry, so many things are on my mind. I can't remember all the character names. But he plays this older guy, Vietnam vet, who's kind of crusty and kind of defensive about life. He's estranged from his son and his son's family, and he takes to the river. He takes to what they call the Bear, which is like this big hunk of, fishing area where he goes fishing. And that's how he enjoys life, is by fly fishing. And he's kind of tutoring our guy John here, the Afghanistan war veteran, about the ways of fly fishing, which was pretty interesting. This is one of those movies that has a good heart. I don't think, for whatever reason, I just thought there's no political slant to this thing. Not that I saw anyway. There was no war is great or war is horrible or this side or the other side or that or the other thing. It's just, these are human beings dealing with real life issues, injuries, guilt, survivor's guilt. Our main character there feels some guilt, spoiler, because the last day that his group could have gone home the next day from the war, he volunteered them to go on one more mission. And I guess you call it a post, if I'm getting these words right. And basically, he cost several of his men their lives, and one gentleman his legs. So you kind of feel for that. And it's like you can kind of see where people would be angry with him and why he would have the guilt. I guess it's, see, I'm not a military guy, but I mean, I guess the idea being, if you can go home the next day, then you try to avoid trouble. Makes sense, not sign up for it. And so his guys are kind of not really looking forward to going on this mission. And they do, and then the shit hits the fucking fan. So there you have it. So, interesting. But I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of war footage. I think just enough, a small amount. Mostly we're at the VA hospital, or we're at the library where this very attractive woman works. Very Jennifer Aniston-esque, I would say. Like, not in a sitcom-y Jennifer Aniston way, but like when Jennifer Aniston is kind of quiet and just attractive. We kind of feel like we're in that type of Jennifer Aniston with this woman. Not that she's the same fucking actress. I know that she's not. But she kind of has this, you know, very, I don't know how else to say it, Jennifer Aniston-esque appearance in some regard, you know? So there you have it. I mean, I like the movie. I enjoyed it. There was one other person in the theater who seemed to be pretty engrossed. I mean, like, sometimes I give these statistics and people get a little pissy panty with me that I tell how many people are in the goddamn theater. I'm just telling you that if you want to go see movies in the theater, unless you're seeing, you know, the latest and greatest big box office smash of the weekend, typically the theaters, there's plenty of empty seats to put your feet up. If you're like me, you don't like being around all these assholes, these big fucking crowds full of fucks and their screaming brat children. So the movie theater is actually a nice place to go for peace and solitude. So I'm just sharing that fucking with you, okay? Well, that's about it, folks. So I think I've said my piece. I do suggest this movie. I thought it was good. Is it the greatest movie since Sliced Ham and Eggs? Probably not, but I do think it's a good movie. Mending the Line. Go see it.